In this video, I go over my top 10 comic book picks for New Comic Book Day for May 19th, 2021. What's going on, guys? Justin here, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. I am so excited to talk about these new books coming out for New Comic Book Day, May 19th, 2021. There have been so many great books coming out lately. I always say that this is just the best time to be reading comic books. I truly believe that all the different stories and all the different creators that are coming up with these stories and the publishers that are now starting to shine, there's just so many great different pieces of content that are out there for comics and really for anybody. I mean, whether you're looking for superhero stuff and capes and good guys and bad guys, or if you're looking for different types of drama or horror books, so on and so forth. There's just so many. So with that being said, again, this is one of those weeks where I had like 15 books that I know I'm going to be picking up this week, and it's really hard to condense down to 10, but I tried my best, so I have 10 books for you here, and I always like to clarify, these books are books that I personally am very excited for, things that either I've been starting to read already, I've read previous issues, or there are a few issue number ones that are on this list that I'm just very excited for, whether it's because of the artist or the writer or the character that's coming out or characters. So, take it for what it is. Let me know in the comment section below if you think that I missed anything, or if there's something that you're reading that you think I might just be skipping over or missing out on, and let me know. I'm very curious. I'm always open to hearing what other people are reading, and excited for any recommendations that you guys may have. So with that being said, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and welcome. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. Let's dive into this list. All right, guys, coming in at number 10, we have OBE, Out of Body Experience. This is a really interesting book that's being put out by Antarctic Press. I believe it's 4-issue set, and I just want to take a look here because it says that it is a dystopian near future, nearly everybody can astral project, or OBE, Out of Body Experience, which has caused worldwide decimation. As civilizations struggle to combat the addiction to OBEing, a haunted detective must work with a lonely social worker to catch an elusive killer who has learned how to hunt from the astral plane. So it just seems really interesting. Obviously, I love these. I've talked about this before. I just love all these futuristic or post-apocalyptic type of worlds that are that these creators are putting together. So this looks really interesting. It's by C.M. Bratton and Carrie Valderrama, which is doing the writing, and then Christopher Allen is doing the artwork. So I don't know, the artwork caught my attention. The description that I just read to you guys, it seems really interesting, so I'm going to check it out as my number 10 book on the list. Okay, coming in at number 9, I have Fantastic Four Life Story. Now, let me just note that if you haven't read Spider-Man Life Story that they did, I guess it was last year with Chip Zdarsky, that was really, really good. I really enjoyed that. I think it's like a year and a half now that that's come out. But basically, it is telling the story of, this one is going to be telling the story of Fantastic Four broken up in a realistic timeline of events. So as they really age, how things could realistically play out for them and their lives. So I believe this is 5 or 6 issues. This is written by Mark Russell. Like I said, the one for Spider-Man was Chip Zdarsky, and I think that was one of the things that really caught my attention at first. But I really liked the general storytelling of how they did that for Spider-Man. So I'm really looking forward to Fantastic Four and what Mark Russell will do here. The artist is Sean Isaacsy. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm butchering that, but the covers look really cool. I'm definitely going to check out issue number 1. As I said before, I did like the Spider-Man stuff for Life Story. So yeah, that's my number 9 on the list. Okay, on my list for number 8, I have The Many Deaths of Layla Starr. And I have to say, I just read issue number 1. I really, really enjoyed it. This is by Ram V. He has been killing it on so many different titles right now. So this is issue number 2 that's coming out. I'm looking forward to it. It is essentially about this girl who was a god. She was the god of death, or that was her job, essentially. And she gets fired from her job of being death. It's really interesting. So, like, this higher up god basically fires her and then says that, as your kind of your retirement or way of living after this is you get to experience being immortal. And so, the reason she's fired is because there's this baby that's just being born, and essentially this baby has the gifts and abilities to give immortality. So, you know, they basically are like breaking it to her like, hey, so because this baby is going to invent immortality, there's not going to be much death around anymore, so we're not going to need you. So, you know, they basically, yeah, they let her go. So it's a really interesting story because now she wants to extract revenge on this baby, or at least that's her initial goal, as she wants her job back and she's kind of willing to do whatever it takes. So it's really interesting. I won't get any more detail than that, but that was issue 1. So this is issue number 2. And again, Ram V is just absolutely killing it with a lot of the things that he's doing in DC. I love Swamp Thing that he's doing right now, amongst so many other projects. So that also caught my attention as to why I wanted to check this out. Also, issue number 1 had a really gorgeous David Mack cover, so that also caught my attention. So yeah, that's my number 8 on the list. All right, guys, coming in at number 7, we have Wonder Girl, issue number 1. And this has to do with Yara Flor, the new Wonder Woman that has been introduced in the Future State stuff that has come out last year. I am really excited for this because it's all Joelle Jones. I loved her work. I mean, I always love her work. I loved what she did with the Future State stuff. It was just a 2-issue miniseries for Future State, introducing Yara Flor, and I really enjoyed that character. I really enjoyed her personality, what her abilities were, what she was all about. So this is her first ongoing series in Wonder Girl issue number 1, and that is just kicking off. And again, Joelle Jones is writing it. She's also doing some of the artwork for it. So I am really excited for this, and that was tough to put in as my number 7, but that's where it is because there's just so many other good books coming up. So, but that will be one of my books on the list. So very excited for Wonder Girl issue number 1. Okay, coming in at number 6, we have Home. This is an Image title that's written by Julio Anta, and I have to say this has been such a heavy read, just that first issue that came out. This is issue number 2 that's coming out this Wednesday. If you haven't read it yet, it's essentially tells the story about immigration and how the process of what that has looked like, and it's about a son and a mother who get separated during their time at trying to get across the border into the U.S. And turns out this boy has some special powers along the way. But I have to say, as I'm keeping this as a short description, it is a very heavy read, very powerful, and very eye-opening. So I really enjoyed issue number 1. And like I said, you start to learn that the boy here actually has some special superpowers. And we're going to find out whether he's going to use these or apply these powers to be able to get back to his mother as they've been separated now. And yeah, like I said, it's a deep story, a deep book, but I highly recommend it. I am looking forward to issue number 2. All right, guys, before I get into number 5, make sure you hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and hit that little bell notification so you can be notified of all my videos that go out, including the ones that go live. With that being said, let's dive into number 5. And number 5 for me is Radiant Black issue number 4. This is a book written by Kyle Higgins. I am really, really enjoying this book. If you're not familiar with it, the general premise is it's about this guy who is down on his luck. He's in a lot of debt. He is a writer, but he hasn't had much success as a writer. He's not making any money in that way. And then on top of all that, he now has to move back in with his parents, which he's just not very happy with. So one night when he goes out with an old friend of his that's visiting, locally, they go out to a bar, they talk about kind of his life and what he's going to do to kind of try to turn things around. And when they go out for a walk afterwards, they run into this alien futuristic, this futuristic ball, I guess you can say. And the minute he goes to go like check it out, it ends up like consuming him. And next thing you know, he's wearing this suit. And this suit is like this futuristic, almost looking like a Power Ranger type suit. And it has all these superpower abilities where he can fly, he has superhuman strength, and a bunch of other things. So he's a very innocent guy, and now he's just overwhelmed with this new power. So that's kind of where, it kind of kicks off anyways. But the series has been really good so far. I'm really enjoying it. So this is issue number 4, and that is my number 5 on the list. All right, so my number 4 pick of the week is an Aftershock book. It is Phantom of the Scan, issue number 2. This is by Cullen Bunn and Mark Torres doing the artwork. I loved issue number 1, everything from the artwork on the inside to this futuristic story where, again, these futuristic stories, they just get me. Futuristic story where this guy has these abilities, or something happened in the Earth. Let me start with there. Something happened to the Earth where certain people gain these abilities of being like psychic. And now, like 20 years later, some of them are starting to die. They're starting to have these bad effects that are happening to them. And he had, this main character has this little ghost buddy of his that is kind of like hinting him and letting him know, like, hey, there are more people like you out there, and a lot of them are dying, and we have to see if we can help them or save each other, essentially. So he uses his ability to kind of communicate to them, even though they've never actually talked or met. And so this first issue, at least, kind of is the bringing together of all of these psychics who don't really know why they're all together or what they have in common. Something really big happens, though, at the end of the issue, and I'll just leave it at that. But anyways, really enjoyed that first issue. The artwork was really stunning. Mark Torres, I actually reached out to him, was talking to him for a little bit on Instagram. Really nice guy. And Cullen Bunn has just been killing it with these like horror type vibes and horror type books. So really looking forward to more of his work. And you guys already know how I feel about Aftershock. I love everything that they're doing. So looking forward to that, as Phantom of the Scan issue number 2 is my number 4 pick of the week. Okay, coming in at number 3, we have Daredevil, issue number 30. This beautiful Daredevil Elektra cover on the front here. Absolutely stunning work. Marco Cicchetto, he's been doing a lot of the artwork for this entire series. And, of course, Chip Zdarsky, who's just been killing it on the writing. I'm really enjoying this stuff. I'm actually not personally caught up on this yet, but I know from what I've already read that and the fact that I'm a big Daredevil fan, I am going to be buying and reading the rest of this stuff very soon. And yeah, the story's just been incredible. Daredevil, what Chip Zdarsky has done with the character and the storylines that he's been laying out in these past 20 issues or so that I've read have just been absolutely amazing. I highly recommend starting from issue number 1 if you haven't gotten onto this yet. Yeah, really excited about what I've kind of heard, what's going on right now, and Elektra being involved and all this other stuff. So I'll leave it at that. Chip Zdarsky, you can't go wrong. Highly recommend this. So that is Daredevil, issue number 30 for my number 3 pick. All right, guys, I am down to my number 2 pick on the week, and I have to say this is really hard to choose between what I have for my pick number 2 and my pick number 1, but I made the decision that my number 2 pick of the week has to go to Stray Dogs, issue number 4, and I have to say I've just been absolutely loving this series so much. It is definitely have those happy type vibes because of the fact that there's these cute dogs and cute puppies that are involved, but there is also a very dark side to this story, so if you're not familiar with it, just be aware it's not for kids. It is definitely like this happy-go-lucky side of things. I think they use Lady and the Tramp as like a comparison, like that Disney type vibe, but then also Silence of the Lambs type vibe, as it is like this murder mystery. So it's a little bit of a balance of the two, and I'm just really enjoying it. So the artist here, the writer Tony Fleeks is doing a great job. Trish Forstner is also doing the artwork and some of the cover art that you see here. So I've really been enjoying it. I've been enjoying the cover B covers as well, especially because they've been doing homage covers to a lot of these popular horror films. So it's just been really interesting. And hey, if you like dogs, Stray Dogs is a series that you should be getting into. Unfortunately, it's only a 5-issue miniseries, so it is coming to a close fairly soon, but it's just been so good. So make sure you check that out, whether it is buying it in trade or picking up these issues as you go along. But that is my number 2 of the week. All right, guys, and coming in at number 1 on my top 10 picks of the week for New Comic Book Day, May 19th, 2021, it has got to go to Nightwing, issue number 80. Yes, you guys know, I think I've mentioned Nightwing in my last episode that I did this, even though Nightwing wasn't even coming out, just because of the writer Tom Taylor, who's just been doing an incredible job with everything that he's been working on. And this is the book that really got me back into DC. So, I mean, anyone who's been following me, you know how much of, or how often I've been talking about DC now, and especially this book right here. Nightwing has been so good. It kicked off with issue number 78. So if you're looking to get into this book, don't feel like you have to start all the way back at number 1 necessarily. When I started reading it, I knew nothing about it. And I should clarify, I actually didn't know anything about Nightwing really, other than like the general basis of like what he's done in his past. You don't really need to be caught up on anything. You can jump in at issue number 78 and just go from there. So I'm referring to 78 because that's when Tom Taylor took over as they kind of did this reboot for DC titles. So he's just been doing an excellent job with the writing. And yeah, so basically Nightwing, he has acquired a lot of money now, and I won't get to all the details, but he essentially is trying to figure out himself, trying to figure out what he can do to help the world in a way that is productive and fits his, style of how he wants to do things. He does have some help from Barbara Gordon, who's also involved with the book, and there are some cool new villains that are also tied into this. So I am just loving Nightwing. I'm sure you've heard other people talk about it. It has been my favorite book right now coming out from DC, and really probably just my favorite book overall right now. And it's only 3 issues in for what I've been reading. So this is Nightwing number 80. Highly recommend it. Check it out. If you're not already, go back, read issue 78, read issue 79, and you'll be right caught up with us. So there you have it, guys. Those are my top 10 picks for New Comic Book Day, May 19th, 2021. I hope that this list was helpful to you. I am really excited for all these new books that are coming out. Like I said, I had to narrow them down to just 10, but there were definitely like 15 that I started with. So I will be buying probably 15 books coming out this week again as a back-to-back kind of week for me. But as I say, it is really, honestly, the best time to be reading comic books. So enjoy your stuff. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Let me know if I missed anything, what your thoughts are about some other titles that you are reading, or what you would recommend to me or anybody that's looking for recommendations. And before you leave, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you guys taking the time to watch these videos. I'm having a lot of fun with these, and yeah, hope you guys get what you're looking for New Comic Book Day coming up next week. And until next time, I will talk to you later.